Sawadika. So I would like to welcome everybody to the MUIC Virtual Open Days 2021. So I believe a lot of you might have entered into this event since yesterday because it's the event that will be running until tomorrow. So you'll be with us from now 10 a.m. until 2:30 for today. And yesterday was the business and entrepreneurial sessions, but today we're moving forward to another section. So for science students, mathematics students, I think you're very, very excited for today. And, you know, what I can say is I'm the alumni. My name is Monica Singh, will be your MC for today. So I'm the ex-business student in MUIC too. So would like to say welcome to everybody to MUIC fan page. So before I begin with introducing our faculty members, I would like to introduce you all to this event. So not only us available in the Facebook or YouTube, we also available in the SIP event website. So before you watch us, I believe a lot of you might have already entered and registered in the SIP event. And you have to select the category if you're a student or if you're a parent. And next, after you have registered, you'll be getting an email from SIP event. And what happened next is so excited. And you'll be receiving a kind of a link that you can get into the virtual exhibition. So there you'll find 25 booths. So what happens at the booth is that you can just look around into the departments that you like, into the faculty that you're interested in, and you can have one-on-one chat as well. So that's very exciting. You're gonna meet your lecturers, you're gonna meet your alumni. So that's the thing that, you know, if it's me and on my time, I will be very, very excited. Okay, so as I mentioned before, it's a science division for today. So let me get started. Let me get started with our popular programs, which is the Biological Science and Pathways to Medicine. So I would like to welcome Ajahn Laird Allan, Program Director of Biological Science. สวัสดีค่ะ
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope everyone there at MUIC is fine as well.
Yes, MUIC is fine. This program has been considered as the popular programs, right? Can you talk about what is this program about?
Well, we are, well, as the name says, we're biological sciences, and we teach pretty much anything that has to do with living things, all right? Certainly our most popular major would be medical, biomedical, we call it. But we also offer biotechnology, computational biology is coming soon, and other forms of biological science, all right? So if anybody has an interest in animals or plants or how we get our food sources and things like this, we can actually help them to learn about that, yes.
And you said you have wide varieties of things to learn in the biological science. And then why is it important for students in these days to get to know more about science? What's the in-depth, ideal thing that you feel like they need to learn about it?
Okay, Monica. Yeah, science, well, honestly, I've been a scientist for over 30 years. I've been with MUIC about 21 years. So I guess I'm a little bit biased towards thinking science is basically the foundation of everything else we do, all right, as a civilization. So if anybody's curious and you're always asking why something is working the way it does, why things are happening the way they do, science is there to help answer those questions, all right? We train people to think that way, that there is nothing unknown, there's just something we haven't figured out yet, all right? So our program, as the other science programs as well, which you'll be hearing from today, such as chemistry and food science, all are training students to really be investigators, to be thinkers, and then to go on to apply their thinking skills to whatever career they choose. As you know, as an alumni, MUIC doesn't push people into a narrow slot. We expect students to be widely educated in many fields. In fact, many of our science students do take business courses as well, something that you may have taken, may have been with science students as well. So we expect our students to be very broadly educated and tie their science in with other fields as best they can. Whether they're going into a medical field or an agricultural field or an environmental field, we expect those students to really be able to communicate and work with teams made of people from other backgrounds as well. So yeah, we have many hundreds of alumni at this point that I'm proud to say I helped to teach in the past, and I think they're doing well. Not all of them stay in science, I'll be honest, okay? So one thing we expect, and I think you probably have friends in this situation, they come in with one major and they change majors perhaps, and we're quite okay with that. Or they take minors to broaden their interest in that way. So we know students are in a situation where they're trying to figure out what's going to happen next with their lives, and we try to help them to find a good path, if you like.
Very interesting. And if you talk about, during today, what's happening today, which is like it's COVID-19 and many things, I think it's very, very important to know about science, to know more about like why things are happening and how do we protect ourselves, how do we, carry this pathway to something, it's really a good part to know. And what do you think, can you just share more about what are the key highlights of this program, and then what will the student learn?
Of course, yeah, okay. If I can you see my screen now?
Yes, sure.
Shared screen here? Okay, great. So there's just a couple of slides to show and kind of go over some things here. The first couple here, just about MUIC in general. So I think students that are attending today in the open house can can kind of pick up this information from other sources, but MUIC has existed for over 35 years, and the science program is one of the very first programs we ever had, along with business. So we've got a lot of experience. The majors that we offer are, in the science areas anyway, include all of these. I myself am the program director of the biological sciences, but students will be taking courses in chemistry, in computer science, in physics and math as well. So the highlight of our program, I think number one, is that we are actually a liberal arts science program. When students come in first term, second term, they will be taking a course from 2 or 3 of the areas that you can see on your screen right now, not just the biological sciences. And that will go on for the first several terms of their program. The major that they eventually focus on, which is biological science, will really begin in their second year, and they'll be taking many more biological sciences, such as the courses you see here: statistics, microbiology, cell biology, plant biology, animal biology. These are all required courses. In the that's the one in the core area of science that we focus on. All right. In the electives, however, this is where we really have a highlight, as you asked. We expect students to take several electives within science, within biology, but then also to take their iDesign electives, which they can do in or outside of our major. We have several kinds of modules set up, as you can see on the screen, such as biomedical, such as ecology, conservation, where students would take about 4 or 5 courses in these specialized areas, usually in their 3rd and 4th year, and then have a little bit more specialization there. However, we're very much supportive of the MUIC overall curriculum, which is that this iDesign can be a minor in another field if they prefer. So I'm quite excited that several of our students right now are taking minors in chemistry. They're taking minors in business, taking minors in computer science, for example, on top of their biology, which means they're going to have the ability, as I said earlier, to really cooperate and coordinate their work with people from other fields. And this is so essential these days. I think the COVID situation that we are all working with right now really emphasizes the fact that science challenges to humans don't depend on a pure science answer, but also on a sociological and financial, economic kind of answer as well to fix. So we can't look at something purely from the standpoint of a virus and how it works in a chemical way or a biological way. We have to be quite aware that viruses infect real people who have real issues and real concerns with their economy, with their jobs, with their families, and so on and so forth. So throughout our program, we really make it as I would say as much as possible an almost family feeling. You're seeing pictures here of some of our professors with actual students doing actual laboratory work. These are not posed pictures, actually. And we expect students to really be aware of what their work means in the bigger picture. This is a field work we were doing about a year ago, okay, down in the mangrove areas on the coast of Thailand. So these are mostly first-year students looking at the water quality and studying the ecology there of the mangrove. And this is a very critical ecosystem, you know, for Thailand in so many ways, in an economic way and also simply a protection of the land kind of way. These are biology students working in one of our laboratories on campus, and that will be critical to their experience. And then we also work in the ocean and other places as well. So as far as highlights and features go, it's really first core courses and required courses, and then electives that will help that student really find out what they want to do in the future. I would also like to talk a little bit about our pathways programs. But if you have something else you'd like to talk about first, that would be fine too, Monica.
As for now, I think many people feel like it's very important to talk about like the future career as well, like you said, the pathways, right?
Yes.
Can you just emphasize more on the future career and when I believe like students are like studying and then doing research at the same time. It's not like the conventional or the traditional education anymore. I think in these days you're like studying, researching, exploring more stuff, and you're finding what you would like to become in the future. Right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
how do you let on these things into the biological department?
Okay. Yeah. The typical student that comes to us from a high school background, secondary school background, has never been in a science lab before. Some of them have, but the typical one actually has not. Most high schools do not have laboratories like the one you see here available. So they have only really heard about science jobs, maybe when they went down to the hospital or they went to the dentist or something like that. All right. So one of our important aspects is trying to show them other ways that life science can be used in a career way. So we do encourage our students to look into other fields other than only medicine and dentistry. But nevertheless, it remains an interest for a lot of them. So these are a group of students about a year ago that were successfully accepted to St. George's University in Grenada and the UK, School of Medicine, in which they will be studying for their medical doctor degree and able to complete their training in the United States. This is not the first group we sent there. They were about the third group, and we're working on another group right now for this year's graduating class. So this is one of our major pathway programs that is of interest to a lot of students. Let me change to a different slide here, and perhaps I can give a little more detail on this and other pathways specifically that we have. So the typical pathways for medical education, there's really two of them. And for MUIC, we are following essentially the top one that you see on the screen. We are following what would be considered a North American or simply American pathway towards medicine, which is called graduate entry. And this graduate entry requires students to have a bachelor's degree before they enter medical school. The bachelor's degree is what we take care of, and then we also help them find the medical school that would be suitable for them if they qualify. Most students that we talk to, of course, have been brought up in Southeast Asia, and they are more used to the second pathway, which is starting straight from high school into 6 years of focused medical training, and then 3 years of mandatory service to, say, government clinics and so forth here in Thailand. And then they are free to work wherever they like. So the two pathways are different in the time that you actually enter the medical school. We are really focused on the top one here, which we feel is honestly the more successful one in terms of training doctors to be humane and empathic people that can really see a person as a person, not simply as a lab experiment, if you like, that we're going to test some medicine on or some treatment on. We really expect doctors to have a large degree of empathy for their patients, and I think that's where the liberal arts background really comes in and makes our graduate doctors more successful, actually, when they do get out there. So if students are interested, they're listening here, they can certainly find me in our Pathways booth today, and I can give some more additional information about this. But basically, if they, just the general background would be a student that's interested in medicine or dentistry, perhaps, would enter in the normal way to MUIC, with an IELTS score of at least 6, all right, and preferably actually 7 or more on most bands. We know that 6 is a possible, but students are doing a lot better when they come in with a 7. I'll be very honest about that. And then they can study with us for anywhere from 2 to 4 years, all right? The average student is a little bit over 3 years. With St. George's University, we actually have the option for them to finish their pre-medical training in just 2 years, and that's the blue arrow you see on the left of the screen. They would take a very focused set of our courses there to prepare them to enter St. George's more quickly, without a bachelor's degree, by the way, but then go on for their medical degree in the UK and Grenada, where St. George's is actually an extremely well-known and extremely successful medical school for American doctors and Canadian doctors, by the way, as well. So that's the shortest path to medicine. Many students, though, actually do choose to stay with us for their bachelor's degree to complete that, and they would be then doing some research, as you mentioned, while they're here, usually in their 3rd year to 4th year. We attempt to find them volunteer work where they can get experience in clinics and hospitals with actual patients. We prepare them for the Mcat, that thumbs up over there. The Mcat is the Medical College Aptitude Test, which is a very, very serious 7-hour multiple choice test that all medical students need to do on the graduate entry pathway. And then we help them apply for the medical schools that they're interested in. This could be St. George's, or it could be any one of our other partner universities, which you can see listed here on the left, such as Monash in Australia, Sydney in Australia, Duke, which is actually in Singapore. They have a branch in Singapore, though this is an American university. Also up on the top right, the Macquarie University of Australia. And very exciting, we have a very new partnership with Chulalongkorn University right here in Thailand with their CU Medi program. CU Medi is an international medical school program. It is graduate entry, so it fits our plan extremely well. And that means that they will actually do their bachelor's degree here and then apply to Chula for an international medical degree. And we have some students just starting that right now. So I'm very excited about that one. So those are the pathways we have available if students are looking at the medical schools. If they're looking at other kinds of biology, we have all sorts of relationships that we can actually help them to identify, to study abroad or to study in universities here in Thailand for their masters or their PhDs. Yeah, so lots of information there. I'm sorry.
But I think that's what students would like to know. And I have a questions I will be asking on behalf of my my junior students, my junior colleagues. So I would like to know, what are the challenges? What are the things challenges studying in this program, and what are the expectations? Students' expectations. We kind of know, like, what they want to, why they want to be here, and then why is this program important, and what's the expectations of the course as well, and challenges.
Okay, well, I'm not going to pull any punches here. We're not easy. Okay, I don't want to tell students that if you come to MUIC biology program, you're going to get an easy A. That's certainly not the case.
But
we
that's a grooming thing. That's a grooming session. You got to groom them to be a professional.
Exactly, grooming them, pulling them up. We like to think of it that way. People all come in with different potentials, and they have to find out what those potentials are sometimes through a little bit of trial by fire, maybe in their 1st year, 2nd year. However, we hope, we know we are pretty successful with that in terms of identifying what people can do and what they're interested in. Fundamentally, honestly, the major that a student chooses eventually needs to be something they honestly love to do, all right? And I don't mind if that's a food science degree, or that's an economics degree, or that's a political science degree. It's whatever they actually enjoy learning about and hearing about and talking about, that's really what they should be doing. If a student comes to us that has thought about being a doctor for 10 or 15 years perhaps, and they've shown through their readings, their interest, in lower levels of school, and through volunteer work, that's actually what they really enjoy is helping people in a medical way. Fantastic. All right. This is the right thing for them to do. However, if they come in with an environmental background where they're interested really in solving problems such as climate change on a local basis, working with endangered species, working with national parks, wilderness areas, things like this, if that's what turns them on, they should be doing that. And they will be successful with that. I've never seen a student be successful at something that they were somehow shoehorned into doing, if you know what I mean, sort of pushed into doing something because maybe somebody thinks they're going to make a lot of money at it or something like that. That usually doesn't work out well. So I think the first point students really have to decide about is come to MUIC generally interested in biological sciences perhaps, and then take those first year courses where they're going to be exposed to all these areas and then see what really makes them excited. A lot of students will come to us and change their mind. And as an educator for many decades now, I know the happiest students are the most successful ones, and they're happy if they're doing something that they enjoy, and that's fundamentally what it's about.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And, for me, I'm a business student. So I remember my time when I was thinking about choosing the department, I was a bit scared about getting to the biological, sector, because I'm a bit not sure what I'm going to study. And I'm a bit, and if you talk about the stress and mentoring sessions, through all the 4 years that you'll be getting through with the students. So if they have any problem, they are ready to talk to you. So they are like mentors and consultation from the department faculty members at all times, right? Oh,
yes. MUIC in general, we feel is a supportive college. All right. We don't see our students, and I hope your business teachers didn't see you as just a number in their grade book, all right, or a name in their grade book. We definitely try to get to know our students. All of us in the biological sciences program have anywhere from 15 to about 25 to 30 advisees. And we have these students with us for several years. So we kind of get to know what it is that they need in terms of training and being pulled up, as we said, and also get to know that their concerns in terms of life, in terms of studies, and other things that may affect their success. So we offer a lot of support, yes. I think the size of our program, roughly about 220 students with approximately 7 full-time faculty members, is actually a good ratio where we can actually take care of them as individuals. I do want to point out that as all the science programs do at MUIC, we also employ many, many scientists from other faculties of Mahidol University and also other universities here in Thailand, people who have expertises which we do not have in-house. So this is a really important maybe aspect of MUIC, which is perhaps unique for somebody who's comparing us, say, to a more traditional faculty of science, for example, or faculty of medicine, for example, where they have all these professors really working there full time. We have a small but focused faculty, and we employ the adjunct professors really to bring in some of those higher level and separate expertises. And those people are super important for our students. I want to say many of the senior projects, for example, if I go to the other slide here, where students are actually doing this research in their 3rd year to 4th year. I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, when they're doing that 3rd year to 4th year research, many of them are using advisors from other faculties and other colleges. It could be from Chula, could be from Ramativiti Hospital, Sirirat Hospital. We have many students that go down there to work with people directly in their labs. We have people at Sinakaran Weerapong University, Masawa as well, and so many other places actually. So another part really of our program is to get the students networked to some extent within the Thai science world, I suppose you would say. Yeah.
Network is still very important, even in the biological department as well.
Totally.
So, totally
We're
very,
not
very,
nerds.
very important. Yeah.
We're not antisocial nerds.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I believe a lot of students, potential biological students are not, they are aware of what they are getting through. And that if you have any questions, I believe they'll be asking you in the virtual exhibition. Will you be there too?
Oh, totally. Yep. I'll be there all day today.
It's a one-on-one chat. It's a one-on-one chat. So thank you so much. And this topic of biological science and pathways to medicine by Ajahn Laird Allan, Program Director of Biological Science. Thank you so much for today.
You're welcome very much, Monica. Okay. And hope to see many of you in the booth. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so much. And that was the topic of biological science and pathways to medicine. So I was very, very excited. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And for students who have just come, I would like to welcome everybody again. We have been doing this live 48 minutes already, but we'll be getting to, we will be getting through this until 2:30. And I'm sure, that was the biological part. And next, also a very exciting department too. So it's a topic about chemistry. Can I see the hands are how many chemistry students are applying to Muic? And I believe a lot of students. Okay, so now it's the time to hear more about chemistry by Associate Professor Dr. Taweetham, Limpanuparb, Program Director of Chemistry. I believe you're here too. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
How are you?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm good too. I believe a lot of students are waiting to hear from you, the chemistry department. Can you share about what's the program about, Ajahn?
Yeah, thank you very much for your kind introduction. I have prepared 5 to 7 slides to talk about, to give you an introduction of the chemistry program. Let me start with what is the degree that we are doing. We are doing Bachelor of Science program in chemistry. So the student will get BSc, same as, other people who come to science division. Some people who come to science division will get some other degree, but this is same as other natural science student. And it will be in the bracket chemistry. All right. We have to be clear at this point because, other institution may offer something differently. Sometimes it's applied chemistry, sometimes it's nanotechnology, sometimes it's something else, but we're offering pure chemistry. That's the start. So this is the framework of what we are giving to our student, and that is expanded into 3 tracks. So in the past, the program started since 1986, since the beginning of the college. It has been here for more than 30 years. It has been 3 decades, but in the recent revision of the curriculum, we have made it into 3 pathways. The first one is the chemistry, the original one, chemistry. We reduced the number of credits to about 172. So the student can complete the degree within 3 years and 1 term or 3 years and 2 terms. Or for some high achiever, they can even complete it in 3 years. That's the first option. The other 2 options is to go overseas to have 2 degrees. So that will be 2+2 program with Flinders University in Australia. The student will receive chemistry degree from us, and they will pick 1 degree from Flinders. They could get nanotechnology or forensic and analytical science. We believe that this will be appeal to students who would like to get a job abroad and want to get a job overseas, probably in Australia or in other English-speaking country. And last but not least, this is 2 degree in 4+1 arrangement with Sirat Hospital. This is for Master of Science in Pharmacology. So students will take 4 years with us first and then take additional 1 year with Sirat, and they will get a master degree. All right. We have the career path in this slide. For Flinders University, we believe that the student will be able to use chemistry, biology, and probably some other discipline that they have learned in Flinders to contribute to justice, and they can investigate crime scene, or they can investigate certain things that they can use chemistry to help in their career. And for master degree in pharmacology, there are 2 tracks that the student can take. There's medical pharmacology and system pharmacology. The student will choose this at Sirat Hospital. But if they decide to stay at MUIC for 4 years without doing master degree or without going to Flinders, there are a lot of options. It is possible to do double major. For example, student can do double major with computer science. If they wish to, they can do a minor, and with the iDesign credit, it's quite easy for them to do minor without extending the time. They can do certificates, and more than one certificate is possible. There are 20 credit allocated to iDesign, and that's how the student can take the major or minor or certificate without extending the time. And of course, they could choose to go to exchange overseas. Once the border is open, they will be able to go overseas. This is a key features of our program in detail. So before 2020, they don't have this option at all. Before 2020, it's just pure chemistry program, and student only go into 1 or 2 tracks. But right now we have a lot of options, and they are called options, which means they don't have to take. So if they don't want to go to Flinders, if they don't want to go to Sirat, they can remain with us. They can go to field study, they can go to internship, but it's not compulsory. What is compulsory is always senior research project. That's always compulsory from the beginning, and that's for the high quality of our program. But field study, it depends. Some students would like to go to field study to see what their work would look like, or help them choose what they want to do in the future. Internship would help as well, but that's not compulsory, but it's an option that just offer from the year 2020. And we also have additional research and special topic subject for students. So we believe that this is the most flexible curriculum that we ever had for chemistry program since 2020. And also, probably you have heard about that since yesterday, the iDesign and flexible education and GE, which I will not discuss here because it's applicable to all MUIC degree. So on the right hand side, here are the diagram of how students take our course. They will take core science courses first, and that would look the same as people who take biology or physics or even mathematics. But then they will start to choose upper level course, and that can be for people who go to Flinders University, they will go to Flinders for 2 years. For those who stay with us, they will take more upper level courses and then take about 1 year of graduate coursework at Sirat, but it's transferred back to us. It's transferred back to us as part of undergraduate courses. So they take 4 years with us, but actually 1 year is overlapped with master degree. And that's why when they go to Sirat, they can only do the thesis, and they can complete master degree within 1 additional year from us. But the degree will be separate, like graduate from us first, and then 1 year later they can get the degree from Sirat. But for Flinders, the 2 degree will be given at the same time. For Flinders, they study with us for 2 years and then go to Flinders for 2 years. There's some technical issue, like if students do not start with certain term, they go to Flinders and then they return to us to study 1 remaining term or 2 remaining terms. But that's accommodating rather than limiting, because students can start at MUIC any term, term 1, term 2, term 3, even summer. And we don't want them to waste time. So when they're ready to go to Flinders, they go to Flinders. And if there's some subject left with us, come back to us. And the total time will be 4 years, no more than 4 years, if they study all the subject and pass all the subject within the plan. The details are available within the booth, and today we have Ajahn Manchuta to answer the question within the booth. I like to invite the student to make appointment with us to go to our booth. Okay, I'd like to give you some fact. This is the slide before the last slide. the chemistry program has been established since the time of the college, since 1986. So it's as old as me, as old as the college. Some people may feel like this is a big program, but no, we're not a very big program. We accept approximately 10 students per year. 10 students per year. You're not going to be lonely though. The first few years, you will have a lot of classmates because we study with other majors. But of course, in your last year, your class size will be about, 10 or 20 students. And, that's very small class size.
Then you're getting very close Christians.
Yeah, but some people may say, oh, is this difficult? So I give you the number, just 100% and 50%, so that people understand, is this more difficult or less difficult or equally difficult to other subject? So we follow the standard MUIC admission criteria. So it's equally the same as other science major. The English score, the math score, you can take different tests for English. You can take different tests for math as well. And it's exactly the same. And once you go to interview, the pass rate is approximately 100%. But once you study with us for 1 year, the retention rate is about 50%. But 50% means people change major, or some people go somewhere else. But we also have people who change major from other major into chemistry as well. But this is, how people feel about us. People usually ask, is it so difficult to get in? It's not that difficult to get in. But you have to have passion for chemistry. And we try to get the highest quality as possible. So we are working on international quality assurance. I cannot name it right now until we receive that approval, until we receive that accreditation. But it is expected to come this year, and it's expected to be the first in Thailand, or even the first in the region. So we aim for quality first. So in the past few years, we have been revising our curriculum. We have been working on the quality assurance process. And I believe that for the next few years, we can be very active on recruitment. So we will go to students and, tell them that we have a very good program, high quality program. But, we are still in the next few months, we're still in the quality assurance process and still have to talk to assessors who come from other countries to understand our program. Okay, last thing that I like to give to the student is we're going to have a talk on the 30th of June from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. This is a special talk by a professor from Flinders University. If students are interested in forensic and analytical science track, they should attend. I mean, the lecture will be in English, and you can see what's the career path for people who take that pathway. And I think that's the last slide for me today. We can begin our discussion.
Okay, thank you so much. So that was the information about the chemistry program. And I have questions on my behalf, asking for many students. I believe they are looking forward to hear too. You have been providing a very in-depth detail, but when you talk about getting into the chemistry program, what are the qualities students need to have before getting to this program? Like, when I feel like I'm not sure if I like it or not, what are the things that I should have a checklist if I'm really suitable for this program?
Thank you for the question. This is very interesting question because I said earlier, the requirement is the same as other program within
But what are the
science.
passions? What are the things that I have to feel like I'm suitable for this so that I don't have to waste my time and this is the thing I want? So
students have taken classes probably in science before, but we successfully admit students who haven't taken class in science, even in chemistry before into our program, and we can convince them.
They don't need to be science students, so they just have a passion and feel like getting new knowledge, you're accepting them too.
Yes, of course, because, they have to take the English test and also mathematics test. They don't have to take chemistry test.
Yes.
And at the interview, we talk with them, and of course, the pass rate is very high because as long as they're okay, we admit them all. So the quality that we want to see from chemistry student is that they would like to be a scientist. They are inquiring about things around them, about the matters and about the molecular and atomic things around them. But of course, if they haven't studied science before, how can they have such a framework? How can they have such a question? That's a very good question. I think they have to be inspired somehow to be scientists, to work with laboratory, to work within the laboratory, or to learn more about how matters works, how chemical reaction works. And if they would like to know more, they can come to us. It's not like wasting their time. If they haven't had an opportunity to study such a thing in the high school, they can come to us to study it. And within the first year, if you do not like it, MUIC is a very big community where you can change the major within science or somewhere else, even to business or even to art and humanities. We all have all of that. And you do not have to do readmission, you can just transfer. And chemistry could be their minor rather than their major. There are a number of students who came to us and then moved within science. So chemistry become their minor. For example, some people find their passion in things like atoms and molecules when they came in, but later on they have more passion in food, so they move into food rather. But they still have chemistry as their minor. That's quite a big possibility, and that's how we lose 50% of the student, because chemistry that we teach here is more fundamental. Until we have Flinders, until we have Weerapong, it's very, very fundamental. And when you're looking for something more applied, we have a number of things that's more applied. Yes, we have food science and technology as well. Students should come talk to us to find their passion, and individually, maybe Ajahn Manchuta can give them a checklist. I cannot give a blank checklist at this point in time. Like
it's customized. Quality. It's one-on-one.
It can be customized. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. And chemistry is a big subject. And I believe like for the past 10 years, 30 years, 40 years, and today it's pretty different. So what is the additional trends that you have been adding into the course syllabus or the course outline to make science under the chemistry department very exciting?
Thank you very much. The chemistry or the science in general has changed very quickly. And the way that we make it more appeal to people, at first, of course, we have the 3 tracks. We have the applied things that will be taught by our partner, like Weerapong Hospital and Flinders University. And the other technique that we put into the program is we actually do not write the details into the program anymore, because if you write the detail into the program, you update it every 5 years and it's outdated very quickly. So we put special topics in rather than put the details in. And we can teach, the cutting edge, the paper that just come out last month or last year to the student. So that's how we customize the program. In the last, the revision before 2020, we had the revision in 2018. And that we add cosmetic science, but then we remove that and we make it all flexible. So cosmetic, can be part of that in our special topic rather than, writing it out as cosmetic, because it will be very limiting to our operation. And remember, our students are quite small, number of our ajahns also quite small. So to be open for opportunity rather than, limiting ourselves, we do not write the details down for the options. For the part that is our elective.
Okay. You said the number of students are very limited, so you have a very good focus among the small number of students that you have. And from the past record, I have a questions on where do they go next? Like 100%, 80% they have been working with the hospital, or 10% they have been working, coming up with their own business or a company dealing with the laboratories. What are the rate? What are the graduations kind of, next pathway after that?
Yeah, very good question, because it's very diverse. Some of them work for the government. They receive government scholarship to study abroad. Some of them, move to America and work in America. But I have to say most of them have to study further for the program that we had in the past because it's pure chemistry program. And in order to achieve their potential, they study further, and we actually support them to get the scholarship to study abroad. So most of them have the opportunity to study further, at least to master degree. I can name a few company that they work with. We have students work with the international company. One is company that come from Japan. It's called IDEA company, and other students, some of them work with SCG, the Thai company. That there are many of our alumni everywhere in big company, and also some of them develop their own brand, develop their own cosmetic brand. That's my recent graduate. And of course, if you still remember, Sheprang is also one of our students.
Yes,
so
yes.
a lot of students, I have to say though, do not do chemistry after they graduate from our chemistry program, but they do not regret taking chemistry. That's very important point. I have to tell you the truth. Not everybody doing chemistry after they graduate, but they never regret taking chemistry. It gives them another analytical skill and give them, whatever they need to do something else. Some of them even work in finance, and they have changed the bank that they have worked with for a number of times. I believe it's for the better. It's more than one person working in financial sector. And I have to add that we will have an alumni talk on this Saturday. If you come to our booth, we can give you more information. It will be a Zoom link for interested students to go into the alumni talk. It's open to the public as well. So there are two talks, one on Saturday and the other on Wednesday, to give more information to interested students. But not to waste their time, like 50%, remain in the program. If they would like to know first, what's the alumni look like and what is the interesting opportunity at Flinders. We never had students go to Flinders yet because we just started in 2020. Students will start going to Flinders in 2022. So right now, let's hear from the professor from that side what they have to offer to us.
Okay. A very good questions. Another questions from on my behalf too. If I'm a parent and I really don't understand what chemistry is, and I believe all science are the same, and my kids would like to get into chemistry, could you simply explain within a few sentences about how chemistry would work with my children?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, in science, for Bachelor of Science, we may teach quite similar set of skills to students. To be scientist, you need to be inquisitive. You need to have, scientific process. But chemistry, I may want to claim that it is a central science. It's a science of matters and, the change of matters. We talk about properties of matter, chemical reaction of matters. And if your if your children come to our program, they will know that, and they'll be able to explain the phenomenon around them. And if they work in the industry, they may be able to work on specific process to develop that process or do quality assurance for that process to develop new product, develop new medicine or understand how the medicine works. There's so many areas that people can work with, but in order to go into the very specific field, usually students will have to take, further study. But some of the students may not want to take further study in science, but they can take it in business and they go into the industry as well. But, become the executive of those companies rather than scientists who work on those companies. So it is quite possible that students come to us, take chemistry as major or minor and take business on the other side as major or minor. And they will be very capable students to go into such an industry. Or they can think about intellectual properties. That's another area that is a hot area for the future. Of course, parents, do not look into the past. Parents will look forward to the future. What the future company look like, what the future industry look like. I believe the intellectual property is an emerging area. there are people who do the innovation, there are people who do invent things and make new products, but there are another set of people who will manage it and try to find a way to commercialize it and protect it, and that's another possibility.
It's a good opportunity too, and many potential students, many parents also expecting them to continue their family business, and I believe chemistry could be adapting into so many things. Like what you say, it's about innovations, it's about intellectual, so many things. And what would be the last thing you would like to talk to your potential students that they're coming to the booth, what they're expecting to say?
Well, what I like to give to student today is that I like the student to choose what they like, whether it's chemistry or other area in science or even business or art. Sometimes students are limited by the career option or what's going to happen in the future. But this is your 4 years. This is the time that you're going to spend. If you're going to choose what you do not like, or rather the thing that parents like, or their girlfriend or boyfriend like, or that might not be the way to go. At the end, bachelor degree from MUIC, all of the bachelor degree that we offer here has certain quality. It gives you certain skill. It gives you the soft skill. It gives you the network. So at the end, you are what you are, and you are here to develop further. You are here to learn more. So if you are with us within MUIC, there are quite a big possibility that you can explore in the future. And if for any reason you find out that it is not what you like, we still have an option to change the major. There are people from business changing major to chemistry. Last year, there's one student. We're happy with that. And of course, people change from chemistry to somewhere else. We also happy with them to find out what they like as well. So the issue is choose what you like from the beginning. It will minimize, the chance of moving. But if you would like to move, we also welcome that as well. And we're not that difficult. We're not that difficult to get in. You have to pass English test and mathematics test. And if you pass the mathematics test for science program, actually you can move anywhere within the college because that's the highest standard for the mathematics. But if you pass the mathematics for other program outside of science, in order to move to science, you may have to take a test again because we have the higher requirement for mathematics.
Is it too late for me into getting to the chemistry program? Do you limit me by age? I feel very attracted
Not at
and
all.
appealing to this.
Not at all. Monica, let me share with you the story. There was a student long time ago, 7 years ago, if I remember correctly. He was a graduate of MUIC from business, actually. And he took chemistry again as his second degree.
Wow.
So it's possible, and it's quite nice to have mature student in our program. Because mature student, they have very high responsibility. Whatever we teach, they actually know how it's going to be used in the future. We do not need to talk too much. Like here is how we use it in real life in business, because he actually had business already and come back to us.
It's applicable. They know how to adapt with things.
So to have mature student, that's totally fine. And I think last year we had one student in biological science program, but she had to take chemistry as well. She's a mother of 2, if I remember correctly, from France or from Spain. International student and mature student, and she's a mother, and she has even older than me. Sometimes the class learn from her as well. She worked for a Thai company.
It's a sharing resources among professor, lecturer to students, and within the class themselves, and within what they have researched, and through your partners that you have. Is that right?
Yes, our small class size allow discussion and exchange of idea. And it is very important that it's two-way discussion. It's not, from instructor, from lecturer all the time. It has to be two-way because we have to learn from student what is in trend, what they're interested, and whatever we teach, whether it's going to be applicable to their life, we have to get feedback from them as well. But make sure students have very rich experience and knowledge, and they can give feedback to us in a very good way.
Because when you talk about science, science, like next minute, it can be something different. So maybe students come up with something new, new foundations every day. So a good discussion will be really great if you have a two-way discussion. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes students ask for us to comment on Corona situation, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Sometimes we can comment, sometimes we say we cannot comment on that. But it's very dynamic classroom and very open, especially when the classroom is small.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much. And I'm very impressed by chemistry. I can frankly say I have no idea about chemistry since I was young until I get into the details and getting interviewed to you today. And the question I asked you, like, can I get into the science of chemistry? It's real. I feel like, it's very interesting. Thank you so much for Associate Professor Dr. Taweetham Limpanuparb for your discussions for today. And I believe a lot of students want to hear more from you. So please get into the virtual exhibition and you'll find the chemistry booth in there too. So thank you so much. ขอบคุณมากๆนะคะ
Thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you for sharing. ขอบคุณค่ะ Wow, that was really great. So we have a great time with the chemistry and the biological science. And next, also a very, very interesting session. So we're going to talk a bit more about physics, another department from science divisions. So we have another topic of physics by Dr. Weerapong Phadungsukanan, Program Director of Physics. And he also have a very exciting clips for us to watch today too. สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
สวัสดีครับ
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good too. You have a work from home sessions too.
Yeah. So yes, this is my workstation normally. So I teach from here.
Yeah, it's a very our discussions today will be very relaxed, and you're gonna talk. So we're gonna discuss about the programs, and we have questions to ask. So let's start with the first question. So what is the program about when you talk about physics?
Okay, so before we talk about what this program is all about, would like you to see the video clip from our previous program director, Ajahn Thala. And so give me a second.
Sure.
So is it playing?
It's coming soon. Yeah, it's coming.
My name is Tara Chalamsongsak. I'm a physics lecturer and program director of physics program at Mahidol University International College. Currently, we are the only international program that offers a bachelor degree in physics in Thailand. Most of the cutting-edge technology are developed from basic understanding of how nature works. And that's the whole point of physics. It is a subject that tries to understand natural phenomena and exploit them for human benefits. For example, we learn how far we can throw a rock, and that same knowledge can be used for sending man to Mars. If the announcement about LIGO detection of gravitational wave in 2016 and the release of black hole image in early 2019 interests you, you may like our program. Besides our core curriculums that offer 4 main branches of physics, we also offer 2 tracks of specialties, astrophysics and computational physics, taught by experts in the field. Most importantly, if you study physics, you are ready for anything. You'll be equipped with critical thinking skills, how to create mathematical models, and the insight to catch what is important. You can chase your dream by your invention. Physics law tells you about the fundamental limit, but it's you who invent your way around it, and that skill will always be needed for advancement of human civilization.
Wow, Thank you so much. So that was the
Thank
brief
you.
introductions from your side.
Yes. So that is from our PR department. So the physics programs at MUIC, we offer a wide range of undergraduate courses, teachings in various disciplines such as classical mechanics, analytical mechanics, statistical mechanics, and thermodynamics. Also electromagnetism, modern physics, relativity, quantum mechanics, solid state, astrophysics, and computational physics. So there's a whole bunch of topics that are being taught at the physics program at MUIC. And so we keep updating and changing the topics so that it's keep up to date all the time, because in like the past 20 years we can't say that the physics 20 years ago is the same as the physics today, because of the new discoveries. We have discovered so much in 20 years, and the topics have been updating all the time, and so we try to keep up to date to all those topics. And if you look up on the internet, right, for the physics programs in Thailand, we are ranked the top of the list in the search result. So we are the only place that offers the international undergraduate physics programs here at MUIC. So and we also revise our curriculum to match the new trends all the times. Students here can finish their course within 3 years, but most of them choose not to, because they want to do minors in other fields, for example, mathematics or computer science. They can also take business degrees as a minors or finance, because they are interested in those subjects. And but we try not to let our students to take many minors, because that is going to take longer time to graduate. And we have a rules that if you can't graduate within 4 years, then you won't be able to get honors, that including doing minors as well. So we try to make sure that our students have the chance to be able to get honor degree as well. And so in these programs, they will learn about the fundamental physics principle, and then they can continue to more advanced topics, which we have a series of courses that they have to take in certain orders. And because we have a small numbers of students here, and we allow or we accept students in every single terms of the year. So that means we have students coming with at different times during the curriculum. So when students started the course at MUIC, we will try to organize the correct order of courses for them, so that they learn the basics and then develop the understanding and skills to understand the more advanced topics later on. So they will be well taken care of here at our physics programs. And if you're not certain whether you want to do a physics or not, then I recommend you to talk to us, and then we can give you some advice in more details. And we can ask about your background a little bit, so that we know whether you are going to enjoy, or it will be applicable for your future careers or not.
Yeah. When we talk about when we talk about getting into choosing what topics to choose or what departments or programs to choose, what is so unique about physics? What is so appealing about physics that I feel was pretty related to me as a potential student? What's your opinion, Kat?
So the appealings of physics. So most of the students who comes here, they are interested in physics because they study physics in their senior high schools or junior high schools, and they like to know about the natures, and they feel that the physics that being taught in school is not enough, because what they want to know is more than what being taught in the schools. They want to understand deeper into the natures, and understanding more about the natures allow us to be able to what can I say, because we understand more, so we can control, or we can make use of the natures. For example, people in the old days, right, they don't know about fire, and then later on we develop the knowledge about fire, that fire is actually a chemical process, and it's happens due to a certain physical process and chemical process altogether transfers. And once we know how the fire can be made, we can start to control fire. Instead of have to be scared of fire, we don't need to be scared of it anymore. So we can make use of fire. We know that our fuels can create fire. We make use of fuels. We create engines, and that causes the industrial revolutions in the past. So you can see that physics is like a fundamental building block for all the technological advancement we have today. So I think that is what appealing about physics. So students who want to do physics, they like to know more. They want to know deeper, so that one day they may be able to come up with their own new inventions. So most of the inventions come from the knowledge of science, including physics and all the other science.
So physics will be talking about innovations also, and foundations of so many things, right? And
Yes.
if we talk about the life in UIC, studying physics in 4 years, what are the things that they have to get through in each of the year, in talking in general life, the tensions and the things, experiments and research? Is there anything you want to discuss?
Okay, so in the first year, students will be trying to adjust to the MUIC environment. So we are not asking students to take all the core physics courses unless they are very confident. So we did have some students who are really good at physics. So we did allow them to be able to take more advanced courses, but that is exceptional case. But most of the physics students here, when they start doing physics at MUIC, we advise them that they should try to be a bit more relaxed at the beginning. So they should try to take general education courses and should try some basic courses so that they understand the environments of MUIC, how are they going to make friends, and so that's how they connect with other students in various programs. So and they can learn from other programs as well. What do they have, and what? So basically, some physics students they are just into physics too much, and without thinking about applications of the physics. So that's we want to encourage students here, so that they can apply it for their futures, and so that's basically the first year. And the second years we will add more advanced courses to their learning. So they will start learning deeper mechanics, and then they can learns about various topics in more advanced detail. They will be taking more mathematics courses, and we have to say that mathematics is one of the most important tools that they need in order to understand physics. So we ask them to take mathematical courses, especially calculus, and then once they know the tools, they can apply it in for physics, and then further on, we in the third years, then they will be doing advanced topic. Actually, they already starting doing advanced topic because we finished in like 3 years. So so they will be doing advanced physics in second and the third years, and we also have the senior projects where they have to do a personal experiments or maybe personal research on a particular ideas, and then write up a thesis. And we also encourage them to look into or explore other major courses. As we already mentioned, we offer astrophysics tracks and computational physics track, right? Astrophysics track, we have like a few courses which teach them about astrophysics, and we also encourage them to take the computational physics. So they will be learning with instructor from the computer science, and those skills that they get from computational physics will be useful in pretty much anything that require computation or analysis. So you can see that today's all the data is that we have, that there are a massive amounts of data, and we need a computer to do the calculation. So computational physics is something that will be useful for our students. So that's why we're encouraging them to take.
Okay, that was about 4 years alive in Muic studying physics. And what about the further studies? Do you have any partners? You know, how they're getting after their life after Muic too? How will they lead that pathway?
Yes, so we do have some partner with some other universities. So but I don't have all the information right here, but I can give you the information later. We also have some thing in progress. So we are discussing about the partner program with some other universities, but we can't include that right now. Most of our students, they do go abroad, and we try to support them as much as we can. Some of students get a scholarship from abroad, and some of them go into different fields other than physics. So, but it's not far off, because our students, they went to like material science or maybe computational science. So they are still related to physics in their further degree. So so that is probably the major pathway for our students. And we have a small number of students who go into educations by becoming physics instructors or high schools, and we have some students who go into finance or doing their own business. So there are various things that they can do after they graduate. Okay.
Oh, so many things they can carry on forward. Okay, let's get back to, you know, life in physics is very interesting, and how the recruitment process would work. What are the things that student has to get in through before getting into this program?
So the criteria for so the criteria for the admissions is actually the same for all the science, and I think you have to take some SAT, or you have to have some sort of certificates in a certain levels in your high school, and you can look it up in the admissions criteria, and so the criteria is actually quite low, so that means almost all the students who apply can get into physics, but I'm not saying that it's low and it's below the standard. It's actually the good standard for the students who comes in, and they can learn from us, but we do actually would like students to have some sort of passions in physics, because that is actually the most important things that you are going to have in order to be able to learn a pure science course. And so if you have passions and you think that you have what it takes to learn physics, especially cell disciplines, which is one of the requirements, because but it's not written in the admission process. So this is something that you should have, because in physics you will need to read a lot. It's not just something that you can listen to in the class. You have to read. There's a lot of knowledge out there, and you have to keep continuous to learn. You have to keep yourself up to date all the time. So yes.
Okay. And do you have any showcases projects when we talk about doing physics in MUIC?
The showcase in physics. We have a number of physics senior projects that carry out by our students. Some of them are like for example, some of them do experiments in basically related to thermodynamics property of materials. For example, if we have some sort of hypothesis that if you are wearing some dark clothes or lighter color clothes, which one is going to be hotter? So the student carry out those experiments, and we have students who interested in certain areas in laboratory work. So we send them out to do a joint laboratory works with others laboratories. Some students, they do computational physics relating to black holes. So we connect the student with expert in other universities, so that because each physicist, they have their own specialty. So if we don't have that kind of specialties here at MUIC, we will try to connect students somewhere else. So those are the things.
Okay. Are you also in the virtual exhibition as well, Katan?
Yes, I will be in virtual exhibition. So if you have any questions, you can send me a chat message so that we can discuss more on that.
Do you know, as for now, we have people who are watching us 200 plus. So I believe a lot of students are exciting, and they're looking forward to know more about physics. So you're also available in the virtual exhibitions, and it will be one-on-one discussions, right? And and could you explain? I mean, could you give a brief, a kind of like introductions to the parents that they don't understand what physics is actually like?
So physics is the studies of the natures. So we have a whole bunch of models. So when you study physics, you're basically studying models of physics. We can't say that all the model is going to be correct, but the models are well tested. So that means it can be reproduced. So when you study physics, you study the models, how the model assumption work. And so if you learn the models, then further on you can develop your own model. So that's what happens. The new models come and replace the old one. So in the old days, Newton came up with gravitational laws model, which is still applicable to in most cases today. But then later on, Einstein come up with a new model for the gravities, and then we have the new models, and the new models changes a lot of things. It being used in GPS in order to calculate the time delay and so on. So physics is learning about models. It gives students analytical skill. Students knows about the statistic of the data, and students learns about how to build their own model using the statistics. So basically, it's very closely related to pretty much many fields, including computers, AI, machine learning, and so on. So you can combine all of those in developing the models in physics. So the ability to be able to model things, that's the most important things that we want to emphasize in physics, because that means when you work in any other careers, it will be applicable. For example, we can use the physics modeling or statistical modeling that we apply in physics in finance to predict the price and so on. So the first physicists who use the statistical models is Feynman. So Feynman make a bet against some people that he can actually model the financial market using the physics model. So he turned out to be correct to a certain point. So after that, there's a boom of hiring physicists and engineers in financial market, because these people, they know math and they know how to use computer, they know how to model things. So physics is actually quite a popular careers in developed countries.
Wow. So that was about building logical processes, understanding assumptions, predictions, models, and statistical of data, because we have been using it unknowingly, for people who are not in physics, but we are involved with a life that is dealing with physics from the start that we left our home until the end of the day that we went back to sleep. So that was the whole process of understanding physics. So thank you so much for your discussions for today. And a lot of students will be getting to you in the virtual exhibitions as well. So ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much, Dr. Weerapong Phadungsukanan, Program Director of Physics. Thank you ค่ะ
Thank you as well. Bye.
So that was a lot of things about physics that was really interesting. You have been with us since 10, and you have been hearing about biological science and pathways to medicine by Ajahn Laird. You have been hearing about chemistry by Associate Professor Dr. Taweetham. So, and just now was about physics too. And we are running through and through, and next will be about applied mathematics as well. And not only that, we have and we'll be having a break in between, like 12 until 1. And after that will be a very interesting sessions getting into computer science. So for all the students who are looking forward to hear about what computer science is and what computer engineering is, you cannot miss this. Please stay tuned. And let me welcome students who have just arrived and who have just watched us. So we'll be having this MUIC virtual open house, virtual open day of 2021. It started yesterday and it will be ending tomorrow. So our sessions will be running from 10 until 2:30. And we'll be talking about so many things, interesting stuff, for potential students, for people who would like to know what the program is about and how the recruitment process actually works. And if you have any questions, please feel free to do so. And before you getting into the details, you have to log in. I would like to request you to get into the Zip event, and you must register and select the category, whether you're students or whether you're parents. And after you have a registration done, you'll be receiving an email back to your inbox, and you'll be getting a link into the virtual exhibition. So what will be there in the virtual exhibitions? You'll find 25 booths, and each of the booths are like each of the programs department, and you'll find the program director, teachers, lecturers, and ex-alumni who will be providing you one-on-one discussions about your selecting programs. If you want to talk to them about if this program is the program that you want to study or not. Okay, and now it's the time for us to hear about the next sessions. It's about applied mathematics. So we have our guest from Applied Mathematics by Assistant Professor Dr. Aram Tangboonduangjit. So a division chair of Applied Mathematics will be providing you a lot of knowledge about what Applied Mathematics is. And if you have any questions, please feel free to do so. สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
สวัสดีครับ Can you hear me well?
Okay. How are you doing for today?
I'm very good,ครับ. How are you?
I'm good. Many students are ready to hear from you now. About like 200 plus are listening to you. Are listening to us at the moment. So let's get started on what is the program of Applied Mathematics about.
All right. So let me show you a slide. Okay. I think I hear my voice. Okay. Let me just a little bit. Okay. All right. So let me share the screen to you now. All right, so what is applied mathematics about? Well, we start with the question, right? Why math major, okay? Well, think about it. There are about 4 reasons why you want to go into math major, all right? So the first reason would be that if you are fond of tackling hard problems, okay, in mathematics or, in any applied science, all right, and you would like to share the knowledge to the world, right? You would like to teach, you would like to be a professor, you would like to be a teacher, or you would just like to be just a mathematician, right? And you would like to contribute your knowledge to the world, then that math major would be for you, okay? So that's the first reason. And then the second reason that you might want to explore math major is for the potential job flexibility, okay? So think about it. If you think about some, if you don't really have any plan in mind, what you're going to do after graduate, right, from the college, then think about like what kind of skills that you want to have before you actually go into the real world and then, apply for some jobs, right? So mathematics would be a good skill for you because mathematics is actually a very, very analytical thinking skill. You will possess the skill, and that would be the skill that would be very, very good for having it nowadays. And also, as you can see, right, mathematics is actually one of the STEM majors. Okay, STEM majors. So STEM has a science, right, technology, engineering, and then mathematics is one of them, right? So that shows that, you know, this mathematics skill is actually very, very important. And it can be very flexible. So you can go into, so you're not so sure what you're going to explore after this. So you can go into a lot of fields, and then you have this math skill with you. All right. And then the third reason that why you want to go into math major as an undergrad is because you actually want to go to grad school after that, right? And from what I'm saying here is grad school doesn't have to be just, you know, grad school in mathematics, but it can be grad school in, you know, any field of science, or grad school in, you know, even other fields outside science, right? But if you actually have math major as an undergrad, then you would have some, I would say, a very good capability for you that you can actually use it and then go to grad school with this skill that you have. Okay, so I hear some people, you know, when they go to grad school, for example, in chemistry, okay, and then they would say they wish that they would learn a lot of skills in mathematics, like, you know, statistics, for example, right, or linear algebra, for example. Okay, so if you don't really, you know, go into math major as an undergrad, then it's very, very hard that you're going to learn this kind of stuff in detail, or, you know, in the full potential. So that's one of the reasons, right, why you want to go why you want to major in math. All right, and then definitely the last reason why you want to be in math major is because of the love of higher mathematics. All right, let me emphasize here, not just, you know, regular mathematics.
How do you explain love in regards to the mathematics?
Right. So it's like, okay, so think about this. You are in like four years of college, right? So the first 2 years of college in science, it's going to be very, very similar. You take, you know, calculus, you take pre-calculus, you take some courses that seem to emphasize on just quantitative aspects of mathematics, right? Not so abstract. But then when you get into higher level mathematics, then it becomes abstract. Okay, you will get something that you will not see a lot of numbers, but you will see a lot of variables, a lot of definitions, a lot of theorems, something like that. And you have to learn how to prove, right? So if you have the passion for that kind of mathematics, okay, and you feel like you're comfortable with that, and you want to explore more for that, then definitely major would be for you. All right, and now I want to say why math major then at MUIC, right? So the first thing I want to emphasize is we have a very truly international environment. So think about that. In Thailand, we believe that we are the only institution that have international program in mathematics that is separate from the regular program, the Thai regular program, all right, completely, okay? So that means we actually have this international feel to it, and we have about 20% that are foreign students. So students that come to our program would, you know, would make friends with all the people from around the world because of this. And the second reason why you want to come to our program at MUIC is because we are on our way to partner up with the World University. And in particular, we start with the University of Bristol in England. Right, so I'm going to talk more about that, but that's what basically we have here. And then the third reason is the accessibility to the faculty. So we are a small program, so that means students can actually get close to faculty members, all right? And we are very, very accessible. And we would like, we would see students on a regular basis, and students can come to us and they can ask questions. They can, get consultation in whatever they have, or in whatever they want to talk about. And that's one thing that we want to really emphasize here. That is the accessibility to the faculty. And the last thing that I want to say is about the iDesign program. So this iDesign things here, right, is common to all the programs at MUIC. And when students want to do some minor, right, in other subjects or in other programs, then this will be a very good opportunity for them to do so, right? They just take only 20 credits more. I mean, not more, I'm sorry, it's included in the program already. But we structure it so that if you go into this structure, then you would earn a minor in whatever field you want, okay? And I think maybe I should tell you more about that later. So in terms of the program structure, Applied Mathematics program, we have 160 credits, and that break into general education for 38 credits, major courses for 94 credits, and elective courses for 28 credits, all right? And major courses, we break into core for 30 credits and required courses for 64 credits. And the elective courses, we break into iDesign courses for 20 credits, as I mentioned earlier, and the free electives for 8 credits. All right. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, so iDesign, right, students just take only 20 credit. And they would earn minors, right? They would earn minors out of this. And the minors that are offered by our program would be 2 minors, all right? You can minor in decision making, or you can minor in statistics, right? Or if you don't want to, do these 2 minors, then you can explore minors that are offered by other programs as well. And not only we have minor, but we also have track and certificate, okay? So what's the difference from the minor? Well, track and certificate would be a little more, it would be just like a recommendation. So if you want to get deep into some of the fields that we offer here as track and certificate, then you can feel free to do so, all right? So we have track in financial mathematics, have certificate of mathematics as well. And now let me talk to you about the collaboration that we have with the University of Bristol. So this could be one of the attraction that we would like to, to talk about. So basically, what we have here is that, so let's say you come in at our program, right? And then you think, okay, you would like to, get a degree at University of Bristol, okay? Now, we can do that. You can do that. So once you finish our second year, you can go to University of Bristol, all right, based on our recommendation. And you will start at year 2 at University of Bristol. and then you study for 2 years, okay, at University of Bristol. So you will finish year 3 at University of Bristol. In England, you study only 3 years to finish the undergrad degree. So that means you just go there for year 2 and year 3, and then you would get a degree there, right? And now, if you want to come back and get the degree at MUIC as well, then you can do so. This is one thing that we want to emphasize here. You can actually get double degree, all right? You can get the degree from the University of Bristol and then come back at MUIC. Right, and then you transfer the courses that you study in year 2 and year 3 at University of Bristol, and then you can get the degree at MUIC as well. So, how about that?
Very interesting.
Now, let me talk to you about the career opportunities. So, there are a lot of career opportunities actually when you study, when you have major in mathematics, and these are the 5 careers that I want to talk to you about. Okay, so the actuary. All right. So you know what the actuary is?
Is it like the actuarial science that you need in the all those what can I say? I think I know about it, but I'm not sure. Can you explain more?
Right, the insurance, right?
Insurance, yeah.
Like if you have to do some insurance, right? You have to pay the premium, right?
And then, I heard, I have big questions. I heard the number of actuarial science, candidates that's available in the market is very limited too. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, very limited.
Means there's a demand, and there's a high demand in terms of this career or this professions too.
Exactly. Yes, it's very in demand right now, and so there are many levels that you can work in this profession, and but for the mathematics, if you are major in mathematics, then you can actually, get very deep in the actuary. So to become an actuary, you have to be certified. All right.
Yeah.
So you have to take a lot of examinations. Actually, they have examinations, right, for you to take, and let me tell you, so those exams are very, very tough. So if you're not really, major in mathematics, then it would be very, very hard for you to be able to do those exams. So definitely, it's very well compensated. So if you, even at the entry level, you finished college and then you get 1 or 2 level exam, and you have some internship experience. In the US, you would get a lot of, the salary is very high already. Like it start with like $50,000 to $60,000 US dollars if you at the entry level, right? But if you actually become a professional, then the sky is the limit. It's very, very, very well compensated career here. Okay.
Is it too late for me? Is it limited by age?
I don't think so. So it's just limited by the certification level. Yeah, if you get to. And the second career would be simply mathematician, right? So who would hire, mathematician? Well, think about it. There are, if you love solving problems, right, and you are not so interested in teaching, but you want to do research in mathematics, then maybe this is, one career that you would like to explore, and you will have a chance to tackle some of the world's real and theoretic math problems, right? And companies will actually hire math people to solve problems, to build models, and to tackle different things using their mathematical knowledge, right? And heavy research-oriented universities will definitely hire you, right, to do the research. But if you actually going to universities, then maybe you have to do teaching as well, okay? But not too much, all right, if you actually focus on the research. And definitely, if you want to pursue this career, then you need a master's degree at least, or even PhD, if you want to become like a very professional mathematician. And employer would include some like private corporations or the government, or obviously colleges and universities. All right. And the third career opportunities, a lot of people talk about it nowadays, would be financial analyst. Right? Yes. So that is the career that you would be able to make money. If you really like to make money, this would be a very good career to get into, because this is about how to increase the finance.
And you have many related people who you can work with, like the banks and many conglomerates, financial institutions, and so many things too.
Exactly. Right. So you're going to go into this corporate, right? And then you're going to analyze, their data. You're going to analyze their sales. You're going to analyze, whatever that
it's
deals
like the
with
core. It's a core. It's a health check that, of the company.
Exactly. Right. So the expenses, the prices, that the company have, and investment, for example, right? You want to analyze whether the company should go into this investment or not, and definitely to go into this career, you really need to have some knowledge, not only in mathematics but in the finance as well. Okay, and employers in this career would include, for example, investment banks, right? Hedge funds, or insurance companies, right? To name a few. And again, entry-level salary would be very high too. Again, in the United States, that would be about $50,000 to $80,000 US, right? And it can go really, really high at the professional level. Okay, and now some people would be confused with quant. Quant would be like another level. Can think of the financial, can think of the quant as another level of the financial analyst. It would be like a super core, mathematics. You need like very, very hardcore mathematics to be a quant. All right, but that would be very, very similar in terms of the thing that they do. All right, and then the fourth career would be statistician. Statistician, have something to do with statistics, right? So you can imagine a lot of things have statistics in it, right? Like what we are talking today have some numbers, right? That we talk about. We're
dealing with statistics.
Exactly, right? So a lot of statistics are involved in whatever that we are talking about. And so if you become statistician, then you would be hired by a lot of sectors in the job market. So like for example, government, right? Or like you name it. So any company that would like you to analyze the numbers for them, to organize the facts or the figures, right? Or to organize their data using your mathematical ability, right? So it's not just like you organize the numbers, but you have to be able to interpret, right, the things that you have as the data. So that's the value of this career, right? You cannot just like, okay, present the numbers and then that's it. You read the numbers. But statistician, the good one, they have to be able to give advice, right, of what to do with those data, and how to deal with that, something like that. Okay, and the last career would be a cryptographer. So cryptographer is
What is it about?
right? Yeah, you wonder that. So cryptography is the art or science of making and breaking codes. So, right? So you want to get into okay, let's think about it. Like email, when you check your email, right? You have to enter the password, right? Or when you get into whatever some website, you know, they need some security. So you have to enter your password, for example. Okay. So that's part of the cryptography that you actually use in real life. Okay? But you can imagine there's a lot of things that you need security. You need this kind of thing. You don't want people to be able to break into. So you have to hire a cryptographer, all right, to build code for you. And, you know, and then in the wartime, then a cryptographer would play the role of breaking the codes. Okay, so it's very, very, very crucial career in this sense, and definitely, you know, it's the career in mathematics that you need, and you really need a lot of things here. You need algorithm, you need number theory, you need linear algebra, and you need like strong knowledge of computer science. So yeah, so a lot of things you have to learn, but it's again very well compensated career for this one. So I think that's okay. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, and then talk about our graduates. So our graduates have gone on to work for a lot of institutions. So for example, financial institutes or insurance companies, or into data analysis, or into e-commerce, for example. And right, and if you are our student, then we would have some activities for you to, you know, make sure that your mathematics knowledge would grow, right? So we have this, for example, a seminar that we organized regularly. So that's one thing we have here. So that's about it that I want to talk about for the program.
Okay, so that was the fun part, you know, the weekly seminar as well. So I believe like you have been talking a lot about what applied mathematics is and what are the future parts, future career, and so many things. And would you be also in the virtual exhibitions for many students to ask you for more questions, more informations?
Yes.
Oh, you'll be there too. And okay. And would you like to give any highlights before the session ends?
So the highlight would be that, okay, so this is a thing about mathematics. People would think that, you know, finding the answer is enough already, right? But actually, as a mathematician, finding the answer is not enough, right? You have to have, not only you find the answer, but you have to have the way to explain exactly how you find the answer, right? So that what makes, you know, mathematics different from other, you know, field of science. We really want to get into the root of the thing, and we really like to generalize things a lot. So
so that's the way to understand.
Exactly. So there's a field in math called group theory that we try to you know, generalize things and then put it into a group of objects. And then instead of study individual objects separately, we actually study it as a whole, as a group. And they would enjoy the same property, and that would make the thing very, very easy for us. And that's the thing that I want to emphasize about math.
Okay. It's the last questions to ask you before our session ends. What's the life in MUIC of applied mathematics would be like under your mentoring?
Okay, right. So, we have 4 years here, right, at MUIC. So the first 2 years going to be very similar to other science students. So we take, calculus, we take statistics, right? Basic math courses. But once you get, into the third year of our program, then, you will start to get into an abstract level of mathematics already. Even though, we are in applied mathematics, it doesn't mean that we're not going to touch on the on the pure aspect of mathematics at all. You still have to have that kind of the prospect in it. So beginning on the third year, then student would start to explore, the abstract part of mathematics, right? So the homework would become harder, right? Instead of, you can solve like calculus problem in the first year or the second year, it takes you like 45 minutes, right? You can solve like maybe 20 or 30 questions. But when you get into the third year, mathematics, then the question would not be like that anymore. It will be based on a lot of things, right? A lot of theorems, a lot of definitions, and you really have to, draw on, the previous knowledge just to be able to do one question, right? It might take you, about 45 minutes, the same time that you can work on like 20 or 50 questions when you study calculus. So that's the thing. So that means so it doesn't mean that the life will be very miserable, but if you actually enjoy, try to explain the reason, behind things and try to, follow the definition and then the theorems and then the proof, something like that, then you would enjoy doing this kind of thing. So that's the thing we have. And as I mentioned earlier, so we have this seminar that students can join every week, and that would help them, to learn other aspects of mathematics outside the college, right? When they actually go into the real world, and that would be like the real problem that they have to tackle.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for your time. So, and that was about applied mathematics by Assistant Professor Dr. Aram Tangboonduangjit, Division Chair of Applied Mathematics. Thank you so much for giving us a lot of information. And for anybody who have more questions, please feel free to ask more stuff you want to know in the virtual exhibition. Thank you so much, Ka Ajahn. Really enjoy hearing from you. Khop khun ka. So that was a lot of things to know about applied mathematics. And before we go into the break, I have an announcement to make. So, if you're listening, our live as for now, I just would like to say that when you register into the MUIC Virtual Open Days of 2021 through the ZIP event, and after you have registered, but I would like to say you have to register within 24th until 26th of June, and send all the informations of yours, all the application forms and all the information that is required to line applications at MUIC Friend, and it's application charged for free. I just want to introduce you to this one. And not only that, we also have a special cases for those students, potential students who register into the event. You'll be getting the e-certificate and also a chances to get a bear, a toy, something that is cute from us. It's really exclusive from MUIC. So stay tuned and do not forget, have yourself registered and apply within 24 to 26, and it's free of application charge. Okay, do not forget. And okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be coming back again together in the next sessions at 1 p.m. So do not go anywhere, go and have a good lunch and come back and let's meet again with the MUIC Virtual Open Day 2021. See you soon.